Hello, I'm Dr. Lori Kleinman, and I'm a licensed psychologist and a member of the Florida Psychological Association. And I'm here today to talk to you about enhancing relationships. Now, we all have to deal with relationships in our life. In fact, our primary relationship that we deal with 24/7, whether we want to or not, is our relationship with ourselves. And also, as human beings, we're constantly dealing with relationships with other people. Whether it's face-to-face or whether it's through technology, whether it's in the workplace or in our personal life, one of the things we're always doing is relating. You know, it's such a challenge, isn't it? We all run into problems in this area. And so what I want to do today is talk to you briefly about some of the approaches and strategies you can use to really enhancing your relationships. In order to do this, one of the things I want to talk about briefly is the apparent reality that our relationships are one of the places where we have to face our strengths and our limitations. Relationships with other people will bring out for us our strengths in managing conflict, our strengths in being assertive, but they also will bring out those areas where we maybe aren't as strong as we want to be. Those areas where we might want to avoid dealing with things, or maybe sometimes we get a little bit more angry than helpful in our responses. So the way I like to think about it is that my relationships with people are the most wonderful and most challenging places for me to grow as a human being. And by being in relationships with other people, I also provide them the opportunities to recognize their wonderful areas and the areas that they want to grow and to actually make those changes. So it's pretty exciting. And I think one of the things that enhances relationships is when we commit to not necessarily looking for happily ever after like in the fairy tales, but when we commit to saying, I'm going to stay present. I'm going to do what's necessary for me to be responsible about enhancing this relationship, about caring about this other person and myself, paying attention to what I say, what I do. And two of the ways to do that are foundational to any relationship being effective, whether it's an intimate relationship, a social relationship, a work relationship, an acquaintance, a stranger even. And that is that we approach ourselves and others with respect. Always foundationally is respect. And second is that we approach our relationships using effective communication. Now, we psychologists use that word a lot, communication. What is it? Well, communication is a way of relating that isn't just about pushing information on someone else, but it also is allowing the interest, the respect, and the space for that other person or people to give us feedback, to respond, to make sure they heard the message the way we want to convey it, and for us to clarify to them anything they may not have heard accurately. Effective communication is also an opportunity for us to receive feedback on whether what we're asking for or whether what we're sharing makes sense, fits the situation, whether it's appropriate. Okay? So it's so wonderful because there's an interaction there and we work together to build that respect and to build the kind of outcomes we want. Now, this may sound wonderful, and at the same time we might be left saying, but how do I do it? How do I treat myself with respect all the time? How do I treat others with respect all the time? How do I communicate effectively all the time? Well, we're not going for perfect here. Remember, this is not the fairy tale perfect ending. But what we're going for here is a commitment to our growth and development. So, what can we do? Well, we can go work with a professional like a licensed psychologist who has knowledge in not just what to do, but to help assess where are you in terms of your self-respect, your respect for others, your ability to communicate, and your strengths and skills. And they can help you build that. And also, if there is conflict in your relationships that is what we call destructive or potentially destructive, something that's unhelpful. Some people are in relationships that are abusive. And if that's a situation that you're in, you may need help from someone outside of that relationship to help identify how you can protect yourself and keep yourself safe. And possibly even how you can get away from that relationship, again, in a way that keeps you safe. There's also a lot of good information in terms of reading books by credentialed authors who are experts in these areas. So it can be in person, it can be through learning other ways. And if you found this information helpful today, or if you'd like to learn more, please consider consulting with or contacting a licensed psychologist. You can also check the Florida Psychological Association website or contact the organization for more assistance. Thank you so much.